Hello and welcome to the Slingshot channel. This is one more episode about my repeating bows. Those have been very successful. Millions of people saw my videos about them. And I even gave some to people like Nu Sensei, and he got a lot of views about it because it's so easy to use and so fascinating. And well, I started to make the first one like in the summer of 2017, and it was an instant success. I predicted this will change archery forever. Well, so far not much has changed. And then I took it through the stages. First of all, I made the arrows shorter because it's an advantage of the design that the arrows don't have to span the entire draw length. And also what I did is I got rid of this between the fingers draw, which was really uncomfortable, and changed it to an underneath draw, like so. That was a major step. I even made a very tiny one that I called the Legolini, powered with rubber. And believe it or not, but Ben Cooney, actually a follower of mine, sat down and made a 3D design out of it. So it's completely 3D printed, as you see. He changed it in clever ways. For example, the lever does not need a spring, it's rubber powered, which I of course love. Very ingenious how he used this kind of trick to make this happening. And I think that he did a great job in this thing doesn't require any glue, not that I detected one. So it's completely just put together like this. And you can actually download the plans and use the link down below. I think he charges a few dollars for it. I believe it's worth it because it's such a fun little toy to play with. So cool. Bing. You know, mine was actually a little stronger, but I think because I was using a thinner string and also probably better rubber. But it still is super fun. Bang. And accurate. Oops. 7 shots in the magazine. Don't you love it? Again, download link down below. I made a ton of versions, like for a Mongolian bow that was very popular. And I even made one for an English longbow that also worked really nice. And of course I also made some for compound bows, like for this inexpensive Chinese like D-loop bow. But there of course are a few disadvantages. Well, the main disadvantage is that a compound bow is normally made to be shot with a release. So, but this one of course forces you to use your fingers. So even if you have gloves, it's not super comfortable. It works, but it's really not the best here. But of course a lot more power. Well, some dust from the workshop. In any case, this is clearly a disadvantage, and I tried to design like a sliding release from underneath, but it doesn't work really well because it's typically trying to cant if you do this, because you can't get really close to this. So the problem is that I tried just attaching rails underneath and everything, and it didn't work. It always ended being easier if you would just draw out by hand, like so. So I was thinking about how can I remove this? How can I make this better? And then I had an idea. What if we detach the whole thing from here and made the entire magazine sliding, effectively turning the entire thing into a release? So a release with a built-in arrow magazine? Is it possible? I think so. Let me show you what I came up with. Meet the 8th generation instant Legolas. Let me show you its features, because those are beautiful to behold. Why didn't I think about this earlier? It's so easy. Okay, so first of all, if you look at it like this, it doesn't look any different to the previous instant Legolas devices, and I guess I could still shoot it the same way. It would still be possible. But now you see that this actually slides. See, I can slide this to the front until the embedded trigger automatically slams onto the, grabs onto the string. As you see, it's held like here. And I have like a thumb release here that I could just use like this. So you see, click. So this is the way how it engages. And I can move this back and forth. I could even cock it like so and then decock it and nothing would happen. And at any time if I wanted to shoot, that would be super, well, if the red dot sight would be switched on. Still hit. Super easy. And since it actually stops itself here, it is very accurate in being always drawn out to the full. So again, it's only got one round left. It grabs the string. I draw it back because it's completely in line. It's super easy. And I can do this with all 4 fingers. And also, because I can take aim with this so easily, the bow actually is being controlled all the way. I never have to let go of the bow on the rear end. So accuracy is superb. And on the last shot, I can't do it anymore because there's an automatic little safety hook on the lever. So only if I remove this, then I can go and put it all the way forth. And it's also super easy to transport because you could simply just walk with this like this and be ready to shot very instantly. To check out the accuracy, we're now doing 6 shots, a full magazine, to this target and see what kind of grouping we can achieve. Okay, that was it, 6 shots. Okay, that was certainly not bad, all on one just hand size. This one was a little bit off, and I think entirely I need to shoot a little higher. So let's try again. All right, here we go. Okay, I think that's really a pretty good result if you keep in mind there is no scope on it, just a red dot. Actually, on one of my first attempts this happened. Classic Robin Hood shot. 2 arrows are gone. Few more questions. First of all, can this be attached to other bows? Sure. There's no reason why this should be limited to a compound like this one. I just like it because this is so short and the draw is so easy. It's actually adjustable. But I like it because it's a quick firing weapon and there's no benefit in having it super strong. But of course this could easily be attached to a 70-pound serious hunting bow. Since this release is so straight that you actually lose no more energy than maybe 200 grams or something. Because of the added friction. But since all the pull is in line, I think it will work just great. And maybe I'll make one for a powerful bow. Okay, the next question, is this suitable for self-defense? Sure. As you see, put enough room in here for a broadhead, a 2D broadhead. But one of the advantages of this thing is that you can also easily shoot it from the hip, like so. In a way, this is like the pump gun of the archery world. So what about removable magazines and stripper clips and so on? Yeah, it would be fairly easy to just have a second one of this and then exchange it, but also all my stripper clip ideas would still work. Why shouldn't they? It's just that, you know, the magazine is almost unchanged, just it got like a trigger. Next question, is this now a crossbow? No, it's not a crossbow. It's at least not in my book. Because to me, a crossbow has to have a lock and a trigger. This means it stores energy and releases it when you pull the trigger. That is not the case here. If you draw this out, you still need to draw it, keep it drawn back. And if you don't do this anymore, the whole thing slides to the front. So it's just like if you have a notched arrow and you release, then nothing will happen. This is just a release. It's not a crossbow. It's a release with a combined magazine and of course a sighting system. So do I have plans for this? No, for this one I haven't made any plans, but it should be very obvious how this works. Just a rail set here and then the magazine with some rails as well, so it can't fall off. Are there plans to sell it? Well, I still have not found a manufacturer, but I would love to, because I think like every archer would want one, even though you can probably not take it to compete. It's so much fun to shoot. I think it's a novelty item that everybody would want. Will it change archery? Well, it might, because actually, first of all, the fun factor is gigantic. It's just enormous. It's so much fun, believe me. It's much more fun than any other bow that I've shot so far, and I've shot many. But I also think it is ideal for beginners, because since the tips of the arrows is encapsulated, see? The slot ends here and the tip is actually in front of it. It is not possible to hurt yourself with it. You cannot really slap your hand or your arm with the string because it's a built-in string stopper. The whole thing gives you like a completely reproducible pull, and actually it's only one part, so you don't have to have an extra release and so on. So I think it's a very beginner-friendly bow, and therefore I think that yes, it would have great market potential, specifically if it's available for an affordable price. So why is it more accurate than the previous models? Well, for a number of reasons. First of all, the fact that when you draw it out, you can only draw it out so far. This means that the point of release is always the same, which is normally not the case with a normal bow. You always have some play. This has an effect on accuracy. Also, of course, you can hold it with two hands, which you cannot with a bow. A bow actually is held by this hand alone, and this one here usually is just holding the string and has to let go, of course, when you shoot. This is not the fact here. Here, everything remains completely under control. See, the bow hardly moves at all, which is great for accuracy. But then, of course, also the built-in trigger here is a great feature, because this means that the release will always be 100% the same, whereas if you release with your fingers, there's a whole things that you can do wrong. So therefore, I believe this is a perfect beginner's bow. Hard to stop once you start it. All in all, I think it's really a major breakthrough, because this has several advantages. It is more accurate, it is faster, it is more compact to transport, it is safer, it's more comfortable. Did I forget something? Probably. Anyway, I hope you like this, because that's it for today. Bang! Thanks then. Bye. Bye. See you next time. Let me say something else so I can finish this magazine. Okay, last shot, guys. Ooh. And string stopped.